Good morning, everyone. Today is 862, 4,768 miles since February 26th of that's my birthday, 2023. At age 67 years old, I might add. I get a lot of questions asking me, where did this come from? You know, you really haven't stuck with anything your entire life, and here you are working on 2.5 years, walking 5 miles every single day without missing a single solitary day. And I have to give credit where credit's due. I give all the credit to David Goggins, because I started listening to his first audiobook, Can't Hurt Me, back in 2021 when I first started walking. I walked 873 miles in 2021, including one day I walked 21 miles. I got up at 3 a.m. and walked 8 straight hours nonstop. And that it's easily the most pain I've probably ever been in my entire life. But anyway, I do this because David Goggins is in my ear. If you notice, I've got AirPods in my ears right now. And prior to turning the camera on, I'm listening to his second audiobook, Never Finished. And it's hard to describe unless you've never listened to David Goggins. But I'll give you the synopsis. This is a guy who, when he was 22 years old, had already been in the Air Force and didn't get to do what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a parajumper. That's not what it's called, but I'm losing the word right now. Rescue jumper for the Air Force, which is, those guys are badass. But he flamed out during training, and he finished his 4, and then he became a Echo Lab exterminator and ballooned up to nearly 300 pounds. And one day he came in from work and saw a Navy SEAL documentary and pararescue jumper. I knew I'd think of it. Anyway, he had come in from work after spraying for cockroaches all night long, and he saw this Navy SEAL documentary, and he said, that's what I've been looking for. And fast forward, he weighed 296 pounds, so when he went to the recruiter, they pretty much laughed at him, except for one guy, Stephen Saljo, told him he had less than 90 days to lose 106 pounds. And folks, he did it. This guy's an absolute beast. He lost the weight, went out of his first BUDS, basic underwater demolition SEAL class, because of pneumonia, double pneumonia. Went back again, got through Hell Week with a broken knee, and got rolled out there, and went back a third time, all within a calendar year, I believe, and made it through it. Navy SEAL training is 6 months long, by the way. So since then, he has done ultra marathons from 100 miles to, I think his biggest one was in Moab, Utah for 240.2 miles nonstop. 62 hours. The guy's crazy. He's just crazy. But he has learned how to callous his mind and push himself beyond what we normal humans think is possible. And I am in no way, shape, or form putting myself in the same category as David Goggins. First of all, he started when he was 22. I started when I was 65. It's a big difference. When you have 40 extra years of eating donuts and pizza, it takes some time. But as I've said over and over again, this is day 862 in a row. When you get up in the morning, it's pouring down rain, you throw a rain suit on and you go. When you're told you have to have deviated septum surgery, you walk the morning before the surgery, and you walk 1 mile down the long hall of a loft apartment that I live in for 6 days. 1 mile every day for those 6 days because I was just bleeding everywhere. And then once it heals up a little bit, I changed that 5 mile into 7 to make up for those 6 miles that I missed every day. So for how many days it took a couple of weeks to catch back up. But my average for 862 days is 5.3 miles every single day. And it will remain that way. So my advice, if I am allowed to give advice out here, because I'm just a schlub who decided to walk. I don't mind talking, and quite a few people have been bugging me for a while to do a YouTube channel since I'd done one before, and I just wasn't ready until now, but I'm ready now. The channel's doing extremely well for only, 4 days. I'm sort of blown away by it, quite honestly. But the moral of this story is, find yourself a mentor. David Goggins is my mentor. He doesn't know it. He's never met me, and I'll probably never meet him. I'm not into the celebrity worship here, but if I ever had the chance to meet the guy, I would just simply like to shake his hand and say thank you. Because I'm not the only person whose life has been changed by his story. And his story's deep. I mean, it goes back to his childhood when he was beaten by his father and his mother was beaten by his father. And I mean, he had everything in the world against him, and he just found something inside that all of us have. I mean, he readily admits that we all have it, but most of us do what Henry David Thoreau calls live lives of quiet desperation. You know, I mentioned retirement the other day. It's probably never going to happen for me. Well, that, in my view, is living a life of quiet desperation. You're doing what you got to do to get to that retirement day so that you can do what? I don't understand that mindset. I never have. And that's why I've had some strained relationships and all that kind of stuff. But I am who I am. I embrace who I am, and I'm going to be walking a minimum of 1,000 straight days, but it's going to go way beyond that. You know, well, the question always comes up, well, what if you get hurt? Well, I've had a issue with my left tendon, at the bottom of the left tendon on my left foot, Achilles, and it hurts. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of my videos you'll see me limping, and I've just learned to deal with it. I have found a supplement, I'll get into that on another video, that is helping. I mean, the pain is nothing what it used to be, but it's still there, and you learn to dig and go through it. Again, 2.5 years ago, if you had told me I would have done this, I said, no. I like being 266 pounds lard butt, grabbing a donut, grabbing ice cream, grabbing pizza. Now, I still eat ice cream and pizza. I eat a lot less of it, and I burn it off every single day. So, find you a mentor. whether that be an audiobook or a live mentor, trainer, whatever you do. My personality will not allow me to do a live trainer. I'm just not that guy. I'm more of a figure it out yourself type person. Always have been. A lone wolf out here. And I think you'd actually be surprised if you started and committed to whatever it may be. I'm not advocating for everybody to get out and walk 5 miles a day. I didn't in the beginning. Back in 2021, I could barely walk 1 mile a day, barely. And then 6 months later, I did 21. And then a year and a half later, I've done 862 consecutive days. So this has been a lot about me. And all these videos are going to be about me, but I like to tell stories instead of just talking about what I've done. So I'm not going to have many videos like this where it's I don't want it to be that. But one more thing. If you notice, my videos are in one take. I think that's important. I do not want to be a fancy editor. I don't want a lot of fancy bells and whistles. I just want to be me. So I shoot all these in one take, trim the ends, the beginning and the end of the video, slap a subscribe button, and if you would, please subscribe. That would help me grow the channel. And that's all I do. I mean, my editing process takes about 10 minutes, where these big content creators will spend hours, and they have teams of people putting all this fancy stuff on their thing, and that's great. They're a lot more successful than I am, and probably ever will be. But when I decided to do this, I decided I'm gonna be true to myself. Shoot everything in one take. If I make a mistake, so be it. We'll just keep going. So y'all have a fantastic day. This sunrise is coming up on my left shoulder here, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.